groovy. I'll go ahead with questions whenever you're ready.
I was just telling somebody that I remember when we were at the opening in Dallas together that you could play then, but you were, look, I'm not trying to make, you were a pudgy kid who was strong, athletic, but you've transformed yourself in your time here into now a really functional defensive tackle. What has that process been like for you to transform your body?
Honestly, it's been tough, but it really was all worth it. I feel like just trusting the process. Coach Love, Coach Batson, they made it really easy for me, and like just the culture of the program, it makes it really easy to fall in love with the work. And yeah.
How much did you weigh when you got here, and what do you weigh now?
I was actually a lot. So I was 312 at the opening when you see me. When I got here, I had lost like 30 pounds over COVID. I was like 292 when I got here, but I was like 25% body fat. I'm probably like 300 right now at like 23% body fat.
So it's not like huge weight changes, it's just changing the composition.
Yes, sir.
So what have you had to do? What's the diet been like? What's the exercise been like?
Well, I used to do cardio after practice every day. Probably just hit the elliptical 20-30 minutes after practice every day. And just really kind of cutting off fast foods, desserts. Like anybody that knows me or my mom knows that that's what she likes to do, but I had to tell my mom, hey, if I want to do what I want to do, can't be eating all this stuff. So yeah.
It's a lot of discipline for a college guy.
Yes, sir.
How'd you end up losing weight during COVID?
So I basically all I did, we didn't have to go to school or anything, it was online. So I basically just worked out every day, just changed how I ate.
Worked out at home?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough that my trainer, like my personal trainer, lived around the corner. So he had a garage and we used to work out in the garage.
Yeah. I guess what type of workouts in the garage?
Oh, he had a gym in there. He had a gym, yeah. He had a gym in there. We had everything, squat rack, bench press, free weights, everything, so we got it done.
What has Coach Eason meant to you and kind of changing the way that you play?
He's meant a lot, for real. Just changing the way that I play to my abilities, more to my abilities, kind of getting vertical, using my athleticism, kind of like not catching blocks, just being more, like having more presence in front of the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage.
So what have these last couple of years been like, just with all the injuries that you've had to deal with? I mean, just not always being available. I mean, how frustrating has that been? How have you coped with that, dealt with that?
I get this question a lot actually, but it was frustrating. But me, I'm just like a positive guy. I see the best in everything. I'm a believer in God, and I realized that everything wasn't on His plan and His timing. So it was just like I gotta wait my turn and just do everything I gotta do to make sure I fortify my body enough to where I can perform on the field with my teammates.
I guess, yeah, what were all the injuries you had last year? Because I think you were eventually shut down because you had so many.
So I dislocated this shoulder, and broke my fifth metatarsal on my foot.
Yeah, and you were playing through that for a while.
So yeah, so this shoulder came out against Georgia Tech last year, and this shoulder came out against NC State and UConn last year. And in practice before Pittsburgh, I fractured my foot, and I played all the way up until halftime of Wake Forest.
I guess, how did you do that? I mean, how do you push off or use your arms when you have both of those things like that?
I mean, my why is greater than anything that my body was going through at the time. Just my why I play the game and why I do what I do, which is much greater than all the injuries that I had. So it was easy for me to just strap it back on and play a game that I love. So
I guess, were there coaches that actually told you like, hey, you gotta stop, or how do you actually come to the decision like, we gotta shut this down?
The only reason I stopped playing is because I literally couldn't walk. Like my foot broke all the way through, so it was just what it had to be. If it was up to me, I'd have kept playing, but it was just I physically couldn't play anymore.
What is your why?
Just my family. I see I'm from a single parent household. I just grew up seeing how hard my mom worked to provide for me and my little brother, and kind of just make sure she doesn't have to work as hard anymore after I leave here. So.
He's not so little though.
Oh, nah, he's not as big as me, but he's not little anymore now. I should say younger brother. He hates when I call him my little brother. My younger brother.
So for you, I was talking to a scout Saturday night, and we were talking about Tyler Davis, and he said his technique is flawless. You remind me of him in a lot of ways. What can you learn from him? What have you learned from him?
I feel like the biggest thing I've learned from TD is how to do everything right off the field, as far as the proper preparation for a game. Because I know when I got here in 2020, I didn't know how to properly break down an offensive lineman or tape, and just sitting with TD used to bring me along with him, and kind of just taught me how he prepares for a game. Because he's one of the best, I feel like, in the country, how he prepares for a game, how he prepares for an opponent. And he's one of the smartest football minds I've been around. So just being like a sponge around him has helped my game a lot.
Talk about how your mind is greater than any injury you've faced through. Where does that mental toughness come from? Was it something that was instilled in you early, or is it something that you just always had?
Yeah, I feel like it was instilled in me early. I've definitely gotten mentally tougher just over time, but just like I've been through worse things in my life than an injury playing the game I love. So it made it really easy.
I guess you had a weightlifting thing happen, I guess, in the first
Yeah, just a little. The machine tried to stop the weight, thought it clicked, it stopped, thought it was in, let it go, ended up falling because it wasn't all the way in, just like a freak accident.
It's like a squat rack or what?
It's like do you know what a pit shark is?
Yeah.
So it's basically like a belt squat. So you put a belt around and it comes out to the floor.
Oh, okay. And you thought you had the thing in and it fell on your leg? Or...
No, it was, so like, it's a platform and the weights are behind you, and it's a cable that's hooked around to your waist. And you're like squatting, and then when you're done, you put the stopper back in so the weight doesn't go back down. And I thought I put the stopper all the way in, and I did not.
Oh, okay. You had like no support.
Yeah, so then it just kind of crashed. I stopped bracing and I crashed down, boom.
Okay. I mean, again, you talk about mentally being able to work through things, but was there a little moment of like, why do these things keep happening here?
Of course, but I feel like it's just I had to snap out of it fast, because once they told me that, hey, like, we're gonna get you back, it was like, all right, I can't feel sorry for myself. I gotta make sure I'm staying in football shape, not eating a bunch of bad stuff while I'm down, and staying locked into the playbook and in tune with the team. So I didn't really have enough time to feel sorry for myself. So it was right back to work.
I guess what types of stuff do you eat, I guess, to keep yourself real healthy?
A lot of vegetables. I'm a big broccoli guy. Big broccoli guy. I like chicken. It's like not a lot of fast food, like a lot of fried foods and stuff. So probably just more chicken, Mexican food. Like I love Chipotle too. Like Chipotle, definitely. But yeah.
What do you get, Chipotle?
I get a bowl. I get double chicken, brown rice. I get a half serving of brown rice. So you know how they usually fill the whole bottom of the bowl of rice? Don't do that. If you're trying to lose weight, at least. It's kind of half the bowl. I ask for a half portion of rice, double protein, chicken, guacamole. I try to stay away from the sour cream, even though I like it. Just a little bit. Tomatoes, lettuce, and a little bit of cheese. Can't have too much cheese either.
We're going to Chipotle.
Oh,
Let's go.
Making hungry.
I guess, how do you feel physically now? Is this the best you've felt since you've been here?
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, just because I feel like this off season, I really took the time to really focus on the little muscles in my body. Like, besides like the little freak accident in the weight room, like I was in the best shape I've been physically, mentally, everything. So it was just really how I prepared throughout the whole off season that got me to this point.
How much fun is it being a part of a room where, like, I'm watching out there Saturday night, and maybe it's TD and Root one play, maybe it's TD and you another, maybe it's Peyton Page and you. The guys just swap out in there. There's absolutely no drop off.
I feel like it's great because you know, regardless, like you're not worried about saving yourself because you don't know who's coming in. Like last year, a lot of the times when everybody was down, me and Root was in there, and we would be playing 70 plays a game, and it's like, all right. But nah, it's definitely it's all out every play because you know it's the person behind you or the person that's on the sideline is gonna come in and do the same thing, if not better than how you've been doing it.
Can you tell the offensive line when they've had enough? Like there was a point Saturday where you could tell BC's offensive line was just overwhelmed. Can you see it in their eyes?
Yes and no. I would say yes because we started getting home a lot more, but no, just because we're not even focused on the other team for real. We focus on how we play, and if we play how we play, then every team should be like that regardless. So it's not really about us. It's not really about them. It's about us.
I guess when you get home on a sack, I mean, how does that feel?
Oh, if you have to deal in the line, a sack is better. Oh no, a touchdown. I want a touchdown. But a touchdown is probably the best, but a sack is probably second best. It feels great. I mean, I felt like for me, it was kind of long overdue because I'm used to sacking the quarterback, and it kind of been hurt, so I haven't been able to go do that. But it felt great to finally be healthy enough to go do what I love, go sack the quarterback.
I guess, why are you Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, actually, I don't even know where I was at when we were signing names, but I just embraced my role. I don't know where I was at. But hey, I love Hawkeye. I do the arrow all day long. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Any questions for Trey from Zoom?
Hey Trey, Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. You guys have been missing guys on the D-line all season. You've been out, Tyler's been out, Brian, Xavier just came back. How good can this defensive line be when y'all get your full arsenal?
Honestly, we can be as good as we want to be. As long as we continue putting in the work week in and week out, the sky's the limit for us. So there's no telling how good we can be.
This will be your first trip to Tallahassee to play Florida State. I know you're from up north, but how excited are you about playing in that venue?
I'm very excited. I'm excited to play the game that I love. We could be playing on Bowman Field. I'll be excited to go play. So I love playing the game of football. I love playing that we're going to play a great team, a very historic team, in a legendary stadium. So it's a great opportunity. So I'm excited.
Thanks, Trey.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else for Trey? All right, thanks, group.